What is shaking, YouTube? This is Lawrence over at Mighty Comics and Collectibles, and like always, welcome back to the show. You guys know today we have another episode of the Hot 10 Comics of the Week breakdown, whereas if you're not familiar with this thing, I take the 10 hottest comics according to the Key Collector app, and I break them down for you guys, letting you know which books I'm buying and which I'm staying away from. But like always, guys, I always ask you, if you're not a current sub of the channel, you're definitely missing out. Hit that sub button. You won't regret it. Smash that like button for me. It does help the channel out. Now, with that said, I'm getting a little tired of doing price videos here on the channel. I know you guys love this video. It is my most watched video on my channel. But with that said, if you guys like this content, do me a favor. Watch it. Let's get those views up, or else I think it might be time to call it an end to the Hot 10 Breakdown of the Week video. With that said, let's get into this week's breakdown. Alright, starting off the list this week at number 10 is a copy of Daredevil number 16 and the first appearance of the Masked Marauder. This is also the first artwork on Spider-Man by the great John Romita Sr. You guys know he is my absolute favorite. And last week we had a CGC 7.5 sell for $430, up 3% over the average. Then we had a CGC 5.5 sale of $300, up a crazy 35% over the average. Now, take it from a guy who's used to own this book. I bought it for like $120 way back when. Sold it not too long ago, only for the fact that I don't really consider it an important key. And yes, that's coming from a great John Romita fan like myself. I'd rather own bigger keys, and if I'm going to spend $300 to $500 on a book, it's got to be a bigger key. I know that's sacrilege to all the Spidey fans out there like me, but hey, I'm just being honest with you guys. So for now, it's a thumbs down. At the 9th spot this week is a book that is totally new to the Hot 10 Comics of the Week breakdown. It is a copy of Incredible Hulk number 256 and the first full appearance of Sabra, an Israeli mutant with enhanced strength. And last week we had a CGC 9.8 sell for only $350, up 16% over the average. We also had a CGC 9.0 sale of only $89, up a crazy 46% though over that average. I will say this, it has been confirmed that Sabra will be in Captain America Brave New World, so that's why this book is on this list. With that said, I still don't want to own it, not even paying $100 for a 9.0. To me, it is just not worth it. It seems like a $20 book to me max. Other than that, I'd be staying away. Dropping to number 8 this week is a copy of Deadpool Merc with the Mouth number 7 and the first appearance of Lady Deadpool. And of course, last week we had another CGC 9.8 sell for $430, up another 27% over the average. Who is still buying this book? I don't know why. I guarantee you can walk into a lot of places right now and find this book for under $100 in super high grade. To spend $400 on a 9.8 seems absolutely ridiculous to me, but hey, if that's your thing, be my guest. For me, I just can't do it. Speaking of Deadpool, at the 7th spot this week is a copy of Deadpool The Circle Chase number 1 and this first solo limited series featuring the Merc with the Mouth, Deadpool. And last week we had a CGC 9.8 sold for $220, up a crazy 42% over the average. I gotta tell you this, once a month I see this book at my LCS for $20 or under. So if you want to spend $220 on this book, be my guest. For me, I think you're insane. Dropping to number 6 from the top spot last week is a copy of Hulk number 1 and the first cover appearance of the Red Hulk, General Thunderbolt Ross. And again, last week we had another CGC 9.8 sold for an insane $383, up 46% over the average. We all know the Red Hulk is coming, but we all knew a couple of years ago that the Red Hulk was also showing up. So if you haven't bought this book by now, shame on you. If you own it, I suggest selling your copy before it goes back down in price. Back on the list at number 5 this week is a copy of Wolverine number 88 and the first battle between Wolverine and Deadpool. And last week we had a CGC 9.4 sell for $165, up another 18% over the average. This book has been on and off the list for the better part of 6 months. I've been telling you guys to stay away over that time frame, and to me, $165 for this book is still too much money to spend, in my opinion. I'm consistently seeing this book for around $60 everywhere I go. You don't have to buy a graded copy of everything in a 9.8 just to own it. For me, I just gladly own the book. I don't even want to spend $60. To me, this has always been around a $40 to $50 book max. I don't even think it's worth that a lot of the times. But hey, if you want to own this book and you're a big Deadpool or Wolverine fan, I totally understand. It's a great book. I just don't want to spend this kind of money on it though. Does anyone ever get sick of seeing this book on this list? At number 4 this week, we have a copy of Star Wars #1 and the first appearance of most of the OG Star Wars characters. And last week, we had another CGC 9.8, so for an insane $4,299, up 22% over the average. Then we had a lowly CGC 9.0, sarcasm there, sell for only $385, up 8% over the average. I get it. If you're a big Star Wars fan, you gotta own this book. But are you really spending over $4,000 on a CGC 9.8? How about trying to hunt down a 35% variant? That to me seems like a better buy. But if you want to own the book, I think a 9.0 for around $300 is not a bad deal. But I hear all the complaints from all the Star Wars fans out there saying how much they hate the new Star Wars series that they're putting out on Disney Plus. So why do these books continue to go up in value according to this list? I gotta hear from you guys. But for me, you guys know I'm not a big fan, so I'm staying away. Of course, we cannot have a Hot 10 breakdown of the week without this book, and I really thought it would be gone by now, but alas, it is still here. It is a copy of Wolverine #1, and the first solo Wolverine title and classic cover by the great Frank Miller. And last week, we had a massive overpay of a CGC 9.8 that sold for a whopping $960, up a crazy 48% over the average. Then we had a CGC 9.2 sale of only $312, up an absolutely ridiculous 86% over the average. Who the hell is paying double and triple what this book is actually worth? There's about 250,000 copies of this at least out there on the market right now, and you decide to pay 30 to 40% over market value. Good for you, whoever bought this book. I'm glad you bought it. With that said, I'm not spending this kind of money on this book. Hell, even at a 9.2 for $300, that's about twice what it should be going for right now. Do your due diligence, find the book for the price that you want to own it. At these prices, I'm staying away. Finally, a decent book on this list at number 2 is a copy of Hulk #180 and the first cameo appearance of Wolverine. And last week we had an insane CGC 9.6 sell for $5,520, up 2% over the average. We also had a CGC 5.5 sale of only $850, but up a crazy 56% over the average. I gotta say this, you guys, I had a mid-grade raw copy that I think I just sold for around $400. So why are you spending almost $800 and change on a 5.5? It makes no sense. These people who are buying these books are not watching these videos. Do yourself a favor. If you're not subbed to this channel, this is the reason why, okay? Hope this wasn't you. I want to own this book, and I'm definitely giving it a thumbs up, but not for the prices that these people are paying. You can get good copies out there of this one if you just do your homework and look for the copy you want to own for a fair price. And finally, at the top spot, what could it possibly be? You guessed it. Back at number 1 is a copy of New Mutants 98 and the first appearance of Deadpool. And last week we had another CGC 9.8 sold for $1,500, up another 14% over the average. Are you the person out there who paid again 50% over market value? Because I consistently see this book in a 9.8 sell on Instagram for under $1,000. So I hope this wasn't you, but you know my feelings. I'm not buying this book right here, right now. Yes, the movie has come out, but this book is going to continue to go down over the next year. When it settles at a 9.8 or even a 9.9, I may be a buyer. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. As you can see, I'm a little bit irritated by some of the prices that were paid for some of these books. And to be honest, doing a lot of these price data videos is really kind of getting to me a little bit. I may slow down in my process of putting these things out. I know I do a monthly Elite Comic sales video, which I continue to put out because I do think it is very important to see what these books are actually selling for. For those who do watch my channel, they know what to spend on these books if they don't own GPA subscriptions or Go Collect subscriptions, stuff like that, all right? With that said, it is now time for my best buy of the week, and I'm going with the only really good book on here, in my opinion, that I want to own for the long term. Daredevil 16 is a great book. I just don't want to spend the money that it costs right now. To me, I'm going with Incredible Hulk #180, the first cameo appearance of Wolverine. We all know this is a very important book, definitely worth owning. Just do not overspend to own this thing. The money book is Hulk 181, and right now I'm not really buying that book either because I continually seeing it coming down in price. You're going going to see a video I'm going to be putting out soon of someone who got a massive deal on a raw copy that is super high grade. So yes, you can find deals on these books. Do not overpay and do not rush to go out and get them. Hope you guys are enjoying this set of videos, and you guys let me know, do you want to see this? Because if you do, I got to see the views increase and on all my other data videos, or else I think I'm going to stop doing them and focus my attention on some other stuff here in our collecting journey. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. This is Lawrence over at Mighty Comics and Collectibles saying thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you guys soon.